right round the Heldon Hill, coming in view now. Right round to the light on the top of the Burgie Hill, and that is my memories of Dallas, and I hope it has brought back memories to some of you of the people and places in Dallas. Thank you. John Mackenzie, Sr., breaking large stones into road metal at different stances in the parish. The horse-drawn snowplough, which lay on the well green year in, year out. Local farmers supplied the horses to pull it through the parish. The village street resembled the present-day motorway, with a heap of snow down the centre of the street. Mr. Stark, the schoolmaster, telling us not to sledge on the school brae today, at 11 a.m. Why? Because the posties van was not passed yet, about the only vehicle in those days. The gas light on the iron arch at the hall gate, the only street light then, where we used to meet to play in the evenings. The two local shops, open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 9 p.m. on Saturdays. The hall reading and James rooms, open from 2 p.m. each day, and they were used. One had to be 16 before you could be a member of the hall, with the badminton on Mondays and Thursdays, bowling on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and every Friday that there was not a dance or a bridge and whist drive or concert on. Wednesdays was for Scottish country dancing. The lighting in the hall was by two tilly lamps which hung from the roof in the centre of the hall. They had to be lowered every 3 hours to be pumped up by a bicycle pump. The tea for functions was boiled in 2 4-gallon pots on an open fire in the kitchen. The hall was heated by hot water pipes round the hall. The boiler house was outside, beside the door to the caretaker's flat upstairs. The Christmas tree party, with the school children entertaining, a 15-foot tree and presents for all the children of the parish from 1 hour old to 14 years old, was supplied by the Holdsworths. Each present cost about 12 and sixpence, a lot of money in these days. Dave Rothney was Santa Claus. The ringing of the church bell. Every Hogmanay we rung the church bell to ring in the new year, writing best wishes on all the houses in the village with chalk. The grouse shooting. The pay was 5 shillings per day for the grouse and 4 shillings for the pheasant shooting, 25p and 20p now. Bert Ross of Cold Home, going to Elgin with his Shilton machine with a crate of young pigs to sell at the market. Alec McGilvery, Sr., coming home with his Shilton machine, him standing up in the machine and the Shilt at full speed, the Shilt covered in white spread. Nath Stewart the carrier with his green Morris lorry and float. Andy Sutherland, who had a diesel engine and charging plant. He charged the wet batteries, which one required for their wireless in those days. One usually had 2 batteries, one in the wireless and one charging at hands. Each house in the village rented 2 Scotch acres of land from Dallas Estate. The rent was about £3 per year. Henry MacDonald Haas, driver, down McGregor, used to give us a lift to Craig End or the park, and then we walked back. At the Christmas party, one shop gave each child an apple, the top an orange. The day after the white hay shoot, the keepers came round with a horse lunch cart and gave each household hay. In the 30s, we left school had to cycle Forest Academy. Saturday nights, Hayes' bus left early about 9 p.m. for Dallas, arriving about 10 p.m. There were usually 3 houses, some when war was declared, all windows had blacked out at night. No light going. Cars had masks with slits in to let out some light. The night the evacuees arrived at Elgin Station, Grant in Edinburgh, there was a mix-up. The children with the labels for Dallas went to Duffus, and Dallas ones came to Dallas. Tea and cake in the hall, and then they were handed over to the different families who had offered them homes. My mother had the Scott family, Eleanor, and twins John and James, for years. Miss Hunt, the teacher who came with them and lodged with Camerons at the bungalow. Parachutists in of Altahorn saw what looked like dropping from an airplane. It turned out to be camouflage coming off an airplane. Dallas was seizing with troops that night. It was a great test for them. The Soldiers' Comforts Fund formed to raise money to buy wool to knit into socks, comforters, scarves, sea boots, gloves, mitts and jerseys. The local people knitted items, and they were dispatched in parcels to the men of Dallas and women serving in the forces. In all, 1,658 garments of one kind or another were knitted. For example, Mrs. Dick knit 232 pairs of socks, Mrs. Templeton 189 pairs of socks. The Welcome Home Committee formed to welcome home the troops. A meeting was held in the Holsworth Institute on Monday, the 28th of January, 1946 at 8 p.m. Biddle's sideshows on the Well Green, perhaps twice a year. There was shooting, swing boats, roll a penny, cork shooting and lucky dips. The lorry had an organ mounted on it, and it played all evening. The lorry also supplied the electric light and pooled their mobile home behind. When the electric light came to Dallas, one had 40 dear units of electricity to pay for before going on to the cheaper ones. The first night the power was on, Dave Rothney had on all his lights, and when someone asked him why, he replied he wanted to use up all the dear units. Cog, when advertising his cars in the Northern Scot, had always a rhyme in about the cars, and I am sure it helped him to sell them. The Royal Observer Corps. The observation post was in a field at Torcastle, between Torcastle Cottage and the High Manse. The hillock is now covered with broom. The observers were Johnny MacDonald, John McAlpine, Ali Duncan, Roderick Mackenzie, Willie Masson Sr. and J. Lindsay, the schoolmaster. The badminton club players, Connie, Jock, Sheila and Cathy Masson, Minnie, Johnny and Jessie Mackenzie, Grant Stewart, Nan Douglas, Winnie Mackay, Willie MacDonald, Babs Hay, Elizabeth Campbell, Shoni Campbell, Betty Stephen, Bill Ingram, Chrissy Sutherland, Cathy Strachan, Muriel McRae and myself. Bowlers, James Stark, the Reverends J. A. Matheson, James Campbell, William Douglas, Ali Duthie, John Mackey, John McAlpine, Bert Sutherland, Willie and John Masson, Willie MacDonald, Alec Thompson, Joe and John Menzies, Johnny Mackenzie, Bill Ingram, Nath Stewart, Dave Rothney, Alec Muirden, Hugh Harvey, Sandy Wilson, Frank and Sandy Stephen, Johnny MacDonald, who was secretary, Bert Stewart, Jim Anderson from Blackhillock at Rafford. Skating over in the Mossy between the West End and Woodside in the moonlight on frosty nights. Bus drivers, Duncan McGregor, Alec Hay, who was owner, Tommy Ironside, Bobby Green, Stafford Dunridge, Scorgie, Jock Taylor, Eric Gray. Dallas Accordion Band, Eva Mackenzie piano, Sonny Mackenzie accordion, Mary Strachan accordion. Though